So after suffering through our defeats, we must now go ahead and speak with Rhalgr to take on the next main story challenge at level 61 entitled The Fires Fade. The haunted look in Rhalgr's eyes speaks volumes. See to the wounded, Crid. If they live, help them. If not, move on. Isn't that kind of a bit harsh? To say, if they're dead, move on? Like, shouldn't I help gather them together if they're buried? And then bury them? Because yeah, we got Mefred over here. But Mefred lies motionless, having breathed his last. Clenched in his fist as a small charm which you take for safekeeping. Yeah. The one guy who we saved in Realm Reborn all that time ago and we never saw again, finally ends up back here and ends up dying at the hands of Team Skull. He was already cold when I got to him. There was naught I could do. That charm must have been important. You best take it to Conrad. So yeah, I was actually thinking when I did this for the first time that we were helping out multiple people. But no, it turns out it's just we're trying to find out what became of Mefred. And as you saw, it didn't work out for him. So we gotta hustle back over to the infirmary, cause yeah, Conrad's still being attended to. If he's awake, he'll need to know that something has been entrusted to him. Monalgo, Mefred, where are you? Well, I have something that belongs to one of them. This is... I hate to break it to you. He's dead. Mefred was a warrior, always thinking about others before himself. He once had an Imperial patrol chase him nigh on 20 moms so that his wounded would have time to escape. His comrades loved him for it, of course, though that made him worry more. Did you know that he sent his men in Quarry Mill away because he thought they were fighting for him and not the cause? Aye, well, he did. The only life he was willing to risk was his own, you see. But that's exactly the kind of man who should be leader. The man who deserves to survive. Not an old fool who's all used up. There's no logic to him, Master Kemp. There never is. Who stands, who falls. In the heat of battle we can but do our best, as he did. Mefred will be sorely missed, aye. But because of his sacrifice, many now live who otherwise would not. And they need us now more than ever. Aye, that they do. Forgive me, I had high hopes for him is all. And so another 175,000 experience points to us. And our next quest will be coming from Pippin. As you can see, there are now quest stats are now being made available. One over there, one over there. Looks like those are the only other two side quests that are currently available. So why don't we go ahead and speak with Pippin next. We'll get to the side quests in a moment. But let's speak with Pippin for the level 61 challenge entitled Bereft of Hearth and Home. Rhalgr's reach is no longer safe, as Pippin well knows. Our defeat was no near thing. It was total, a humiliation. We were powerless to withstand our enemy's assaults. But we cannot afford to dwell on our failure. As Alfred had said, it is those who survived whom we must think of now. Rhalgr's reach is no longer safe. The Imperials may have withdrawn, but they could return any time to finish what they began. We dare not remain here. Those who are not fit to make the journey to Castrum Orion will need to be taken by chocobo carriage. Agreed? Good. I shall oversee preparations for the carriages. In the meantime, I would have you scour the infirmary for any supplies that might prove useful during the journey. And so that would include speaking with Orella here, who we spoke with at the end of the previous stream. Oh, forgive me, but it is imperative that my expert continue preparing medicines for the wounded. If you desire treatment, I must ask that you seek it elsewhere. Actually, we're here for a different reason. And Pierce Harvey, that's kind of offensive to be having a Magitech minion walking around in a place where people just got destroyed. Yeah, thanks. Take it away. Oh, I see. In that case, you are free to search the barber and take that which you require. I will not have our people dying en route. I would assist you, but this process demands my undivided attention. So we gotta take 3 different medical supplies from over here. From over here. And then hiding behind this curtain. Oh, no, not. Okay, for some reason I thought it was hiding behind the curtain. Okay, where's that last set of stuff that we need? Do I have to go around for it? I'm trying to remember. Oh, a wall. Of course. And over here. So now we gotta go over to the courier, who is going to be actually not all that far. Miss, Marshal Terrapin said you might have something for me? I do. 12 be praised. This should put the driver's hearts at ease. Tell the Vice Marshal we await his orders. And so now, Ishtola and the others are safely strapped in. Don't worry, I'll be by her side the entire time. Thank you, Kryle. I'll walk alongside. They'll need protection in case the Guardians try anything. Hang on, you're injured too, aren't you? Shouldn't you be in one of the carriages? I'm not so frail that I can't make the trip on my own. Besides, there's still work to be done here. I'll see you at the wall when it's finished. As you wish, then let us set forth at once. We shall move as quickly as our comrade's health allows. To Castrum Orient. Yeah, get them out of here, quick. And so that quest is finished. So I believe if we take the next quest from Conrad, that will actually encourage us to leave. So before we do that, let's go ahead and take the 2 side quests that we were intending to take before we left. In the meantime, we're welcoming a new viewer, Jacob Rabi. Welcome to Let's Play Nova Autism. Glad to have you joining us this evening. Glad you can make it. So yeah, first of all, in terms of the side quests, is this Wounded Resistance Fighter. So let's take on his level 61 challenge entitled Mother's Boy. The Wounded Resistance Fighter has a lot on his mind. There is something I would ask of you, Loss. I joined the resistance against my mother's wishes. She awaits me back in my hometown. I'm lucky to still be here after that last battle, and I don't want to take her love for granted anymore. Please, deliver this bandana to Mother and Ala Gannha on my behalf. And tell her that I said thank you. I want her to know I understand why she objected me to joining the fight against the Empire. So, yeah, that's straight away, so we can finish that when we want to warp directly to Ala Gannha. But we're gonna go ahead and take the other quest in the meantime. And that's gonna be on the far opposite side of the settlement. Where's that Aetheryte? There it is. So yeah, taking back to the other side. And you're welcome there, Jacob. And please feel free, if you're watching for the first time, please feel free to share this stuff with your friends or your family. We'd love to have them watching as well. And if you haven't clicked the like button yet, please do so. Make sure you do that too. So over here is going to be our other side quest from this Straight Arrow Settler with his level 61 challenge entitled Hard Blow. This Straight Arrow Settler is struggling to convince the Resistance fighters. Could you lend me a hand? I rushed here after hearing that Rhalgr's Reach had been attacked by the Empire, bringing all the goods I could carry with me. One of the weapons I brought was a blowgun. I think it's a fairly useful tool, but none of the Resistance fighters seem to agree. Could you help me show them all how handy it can be? I know it will serve them well in their fight. They simply do not realize it yet. Please meet me by the targets I have set up. So, for this particular quest, we're going to do something that is being done for the first time in Final Fantasy XIV. We're going to be doing something a little different from what is usually done, in that this quest will allow us to be able to interact with our weapon in a unique way. I prepared 4 targets for you. Hit them all to show how splendid a weapon the blowgun is. Make sure to first choose your target before blowing with all your might. And so we have to stand over here, and we have to find our 4 targets. So as you can see, all these targets are over here, and I have to hit them. So once you lock onto one, hold down the button you want, and hit the target. You can zoom in if you want, but these targets are fairly visible and hard to miss. So now one up over here. And then this one tries to pull a fast one on you by trying to camouflage itself as a carriage wheel. However, I'm not so easily tricked. Well, there's Settler. Are you satisfied? Absolute perfection. The Resistance fighters were transfixed by your display. Or at least the one standing next to you. If one is able to get close enough to an enemy, they could use the blowgun to shoot a poison dart right into their neck. It can be really quite handy in the right situation. I got the idea from an Ala Gannha I met in the Black Shroud. He said he'd seen some locals hunting with it, and wondered if the Resistance couldn't find a use for it. It just goes to show you don't need to pick up a sword to fight against the Empire. We all have our own parts to play. And so we get another 87,000 experience points. So we're done with him, as Dawn is settling on the land. I don't believe there are any others. Okay, so yeah, it's just the one other main story quest that's left, but we're gonna go ahead and make the jump over to Ala Gannha. But yeah, thanks for being such a great fan there, Jacob. We're glad that we have you with us. So yeah, we gotta go make the delivery that a distraught mother does not want to receive the package from. So I believe I have to go up to the higher tier, yep. We gotta go up to an upper tier. So we'll take the right and then give this bandana to the mother of the fighter in question. Have we met? No, but I have something for you. Why, this is my boy's! Has something happened to him? I'm afraid so. Thank heavens he is still safe. I tried to dissuade him from joining the Resistance, but he would not listen. We had a big fight and he wound up sneaking out in the dead of night. It is weighed off my mind to learn that he does not resent me. However, the fact that he has returned this bandana must mean he intends to continue fighting. If his resolve is truly that strong, then there is little chance of me convincing him to come home. I will continue to pray for his safe return. And so with that, we get another 87,000 experience points. Now we could go back to take on the main story quest, but since new quests have now been made available to us here in Ala Gannha, we're going to go ahead and take these. So, since Gerbert is so conveniently close by with a quest, why don't we take his on first? So let's speak with Gerbert here for the level 61 challenge entitled Of Rats and Men. Gerbert has a rodent problem. Well, you certainly don't look like a Guardian. Assuming I'm correct, could you help me deal with the little pest problem? Ever since the Empire outlawed the practice of all religions, I've been unable to pray at hidden Tyr. Instead, I decided to create a spot to the southwest where I can mourn the dead in secret. The problem is, whenever I leave offerings of food for the deceased, those blasted robber rats gobble them up for themselves. That's why I've created this. One whiff of it and those pests will be on their way. Though make sure to be on your guard. Some of the more aggressive rats may attack you instead. Alright. Something I'm actually going to do here as well, while I have an opportunity, I'm going to make a jump back to my FC house. And in the meanwhile, hello there, Jacob. Good to see you back. Jacob Foster, of course. It's good to have you back, because we know you've been with us earlier in the day. So yeah, meanwhile as well, let me look something up here while I'm waiting for my warp back in. But yeah, if I could recommend as well for you guys as well while I'm doing this stream, I'd also encourage you to pay visits to my girlfriend's stream. She is also now live. So I've also posted a link in the chat for you guys to click on the link to my girlfriend Skyla's stream. She goes by the YouTube handle Cynthia Komori, and I would greatly appreciate it if you go give her a click on the link there, check out her video for Stormblood, subscribe to her, give her video a like, and help her out as well. I'm sure she would greatly appreciate it, and I know I would too. But yeah, one thing I've done with Mathia that I've not yet done with Corinne is fetch my chocobo. I believe I still have a stable broom. Yeah, we'll go ahead and clean that up a bit. Okay, so let's jump back now to Ala Gannha, and we'll go from there. In the meanwhile, let's go give a good evening to Aika. Well, trust me, Jacob, when I say you haven't seen anything yet. This is just the beginning. Considering we're at a war with a very merciless military dictatorship, you should expect that what we've seen is just scratching the surface. So yeah, expect to see a little more of this as you go along in this game. So yeah, we want to go and use the brown liquid at the designated locations to slay any robber rats that attack. I have, Geisel Greens, do I not? Oh yeah, I got plenty. I got 92. But yeah, there'll be many more deaths to come there, Jacob. And there's gonna be a lot more distress before this journey's gone. And believe me, I haven't even though I'm been practicing with my previous Warrior of Light from Heaven's Ward, Mathia, before I started doing this, and I have him to level 64, it's like, I feel like I haven't even scratched the surface yet. I feel like there's still so much to discover and see for myself and whatnot. Yeah, we're definitely going a long way out. Yeah, that's very true there. That's very true there, Jacob. That's very true. Yeah, definitely cannot argue with that logic at all. I mean, in this instance, I mean, we've seen the T rating for Realm Reborn and Heavensward before, but seldom have we ever seen it put to use. This time, though, then the T rating actually means something. So yeah, all the way out here, in this far off, tucked away corner, is this place. Where Chapuli live, that are gonna give me a hard time, as I expect they would. Let's go ahead and show them that I don't take kindly to be pushed around by a giant grasshopper. Lock and load! And get you to the point where you're almost dead. There we go. So now we gotta step into the circle and do what we must. Let's use the Geisel Green to summon my Chocobo. And let's proceed to deal with this stuff. And this time we have to fight a rat. But it's not always going to be that way. Into the air and down. There we go. Now I gotta deal with the other two spots. Well, given what I've seen so far, Jacob, I actually concur with the other Jacob. In fact, I already said that. Yeah, back to Ala Gannha. And we'll let Mr. Gerbert know that the rats have been driven off. That's all gone. Excellent news. Now I can speak with my son again. I lost my boy to a quarrying accident some time ago. He pushed me out of the way when a bunch of rocks suddenly fell down on us. He was buried so deep we never even found his body. I couldn't stand the idea of him being forgotten, so I went ahead and built a grave for him. It's near the area where the accident happened. Not a day goes by when I don't wish he had saved himself. He still had his whole life ahead of him. Thank you for all your help. It brings me some solace to know that I can still talk to my son from time to time. And so with that, another 87,000 experience points comes our way. So now let's run down here to get the one that will be affixed to unlocking an Aether Current. So let's run over this way. Yeah, we're going to speak with Ragnfrid again. So, Mr. Ragnfrid will give us our next level 61 challenge entitled Saint Sayer. Ragnfrid would like to introduce you to an old friend. Fancy yourself as our village's savior, do you? If you truly mean what you say, I have a mind to introduce you to someone. His name's Sayer. Used to be one of the quarry's finest workers, he did. He keeps fighting the good fight to restore Ala Gannha to its former glory, but I do worry about the toll it must be taking on a man of his years. Have a chat with him if you're interested in helping. I believe we can do that. So, Mr. Sayer is going to be over here, standing next to this cynical villager. Yeah, does it seem that all these people at Ala Gannha are cynical? Oh, you're right. Thank you for coming. I'm still waiting for a few more of the villagers to arrive. The old bugger's treating us to another one of his speeches, I see. How long do you plan to continue living in abject squalor, I ask you? It's high time we brought back the quarry that once made me proud to hail from Ala Gannha. Some of you may be too young to remember, but the quarry used to mean everything to this village. Also, hello there, Lynette. Good to see you this evening. Glad to have you with us. Bloody hells, when is this old codger gonna stop harping on about the good old days? Time you opened your eyes, you daft bugger. Time's long since past when we could sell the stones here for a decent amount of gil. It's about time you face the facts. There's no coin to be had sweating away your life in some bloody quarry. I'd better be served going out and hunting my own food. Just hear me out! If you give up on the quarry, then you'll be giving up on the village itself. Even the hardest of rocks will break if you keep chiseling away at it. Life's the same. Grandfather, that's enough! Yeah, now we have female intervention. I can tell you now that no one here would claim to be happy with their lot, but there's nothing that can be done. You remonstrating with everyone is hardly going to do any good. Sweat love. Well, what do you bloody expect with that attitude? No one's going to work to improve things when even quarriers such as yourself have next to no motivation. There's a reason you don't see much quarrying going on anymore. There's no demand for it. We can get by just fine with the stones we gathered in the past and those we salvaged from ruined buildings. Prosperity doesn't lie in wait for us at the quarry, only monsters. It's about time you realize that we're lucky to be alive these days. Come on, Grandfather, let's go home. And all others proceed to follow. Except for Corinne. Blasted girl understands nothing. Of course everything's going to seem pointless if you're only sleepwalking through life. And who the hells are you anyway? I ain't doing this for your amusement. But I'm not here for you to amuse me. I am indeed the sayer you speak of. Ragnfrid sent you my way, you say? Corinne was it? So you're the last we have to thank for saving Rhalgr. I can tell you've more fire in your belly than this entire village. Perhaps you'll be able to see that I'm not as crazy as these buggers think me. So let's speak with Sayer a little more. Ala Gannha owes everything to the quarry. The stones we extracted were solid and pleasing on the eye to boot. We even supplied the stone used to build the palace. Oh, those were the days. It was the Imperial invasion that changed everything. Those bastards thought stone structures barbaric, favouring their cold, tasteless, metallic buildings instead. They say they look civilized. Don't make me laugh! The final blow to our way of life came when Golmul began recruiting our youth for their own army. We lost just as many to the rebel cause. With no one left to tend to the quarry, it slowly fell into ruin and is now overrun with beasts. The few of us that remain have been left to eke out some living by using any means we can. I swear on Rhalgr's very name, if we could just take back the sleeping stones, this whole village would brim with vitality again. I just need something that proves the beasts are gone from the quarry. Then the villagers would surely see fit to help me restore it to its former glory. I know this is a lot to ask a complete stranger, but it's not as if I'm spoiled for choice right now. Would you be able to rid the quarry of those damn monsters and bring me back 2 Urlith soul stones? I'll be forever in your debt. So we go do as Mr. Sayer asked of us, and go a long way. And when I say a long way, I mean a long way. In fact, we can't even go to the right to get to where we need to go. We need to go down. Because, yeah, the arrows may be pointing to the right, but it just leads to a dead end. And we don't want to be traveling to a dead end. Really? Yeah, I can understand in a way where you're coming from there, Lynette. But then again, since I'm not British, at least not by birth, or having ever been there, I really can't say, how I can compare accents. I mean, I know Yami has explained it to me before, to some extent. So yeah, in order to get to where we want to go, we are going to have to go through some 61s, like this rude Sood, who reminds me a lot of Funbaba from Final Fantasy VI. And if you've ever seen Final Fantasy VI, look at that rude Sood and tell me that does not look like Funbaba. Looks just like him. Well, at least Funbaba and his friends aren't all that interested in following after me, but yeah, you see what I mean here, where I said that to the left is a dead end? So, yeah, that's where the waterfall, this is where the waterfall goes down. So because of that, we have to go this way. And thanks, Jacob, for doing that, I appreciate it. So yeah, as we get closer to the quarry, we found what we're looking for. 2 marble Uroliths. These things, if you've seen my Heaven's Ward Let's Play, are similar in appearance to some of the enemies that we found in the main story dungeon in Heaven's Ward patch 3.3 known as Sor Kai. So yeah, these guys look pretty much like those enemies. I believe they called them Golem Soulstones, if I remember correctly. But yeah, the link to click on Skyla's stream is in the chat right now, if you guys would like to go check it out. I'll repost it once I finish beating this Urolith. Okay, so we got what we wanted. So let's proceed to go back to Ala Gannha. And we'll go ahead and give the soulstones that Mr. Sayer was asking for. So yeah, here, it's gonna be over here. There he is. Oh, there. Nice to see you returned. It'd be even nicer if you happen to be in possession of certain stones. I have them. Yes, this is exactly what I was after. Let's waste no time in showing them to the others. It's been far too long since the last ray of hope shone into the villagers' miserable lives. Well, when you put it that way. So, 87,000 experience points plus 800 gil, and we get an Aether Current. So yeah, we'll have more quests to take from Mr. Sayer, but I'm gonna go ahead and take care of some other things first.